Molo Sanbonani, hello, how's it morning? Good morning, good morning. It is a Monday here on the Vuka Nazo morning show. My name is Sihle Ngobese, aka Big Daddy Liberty. Remember, you love the show? Do me a big favor. Hit that like button, smash that like button, whether you're watching the simulcast on Facebook or on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube in particular, well, why not subscribe to the show? Join the over 38,000 of you, nearly 39,000 now, who are fans of the show. Subscribe to Big Daddy Liberty on YouTube. And of course, we have a website. Now, for those of you who want to contribute something towards the show, between 50 to 100 Rand a month, to join that BDL club, which we're yet to formalize. It'll come with merch and other cool stuff in the year. We're busy still working on that. But nonetheless, join the BDL club by contributing towards the show. Find us on our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. There, of course, as I said, you'll find a payment method that suits you. Now, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get straight into the news. All right, we begin here this morning in the Eastern Cape, where much like what we had or discussed last week on Friday's Vuka Nazo of the killing fields in South Africa, particularly the hostels killing fields where 4 men were gunned down at the KwaMashu hostel. You remember that story we did over here last week. The killing continues in this country, this time a mass murder of 10 human beings, 10 lives were snuffed out in the Eastern Cape in various locations, Qunu being the one location where 3 people believed to be family members, 3 people in 2 separate incidents were gunned down by unknown gunmen, a grandmother and her grandchild. And it's believed the gunmen then proceeded to another house where the daughter of that particular grandmother was gunned down. Now, I read this piece, of course, in The Independent, which then describes from that incident, there was another incident where a further 7 people were gunned down. Now, let me read from this Independent piece, quoting the police spokesperson, A1 Tembinkosi Kinana, who says the following. Now, in another incident, it's alleged that unknown gunmen entered a rendezvous in Qulu and opened fire on 7 people, 4 men and, of course, 3 women between the ages of 32 and 46-year-old on Wednesday evening. His director was directly quoted as saying all 7 were fatally wounded. The circumstances surrounding the incident are under investigation. As the investigation is at an early stage, it hasn't been established whether the 2 incidents are linked. End of quote. Like, how does one begin to describe what's happening in this country? I mean, I've used all the euphemisms. I've used up all the whole depth of my analysis on these particular types of incidents, because they're not isolated, and these are not the first. You'll remember, let me jog your memory back to last year in July, if my memory is that accurate, where 15 people were gunned down at a tavern in Soweto. That made national headlines, shocked a nation. Indeed, we're seeing more of these incidents. Don't take my word for it. Let's look at what the Institute of Security Studies has basically said. This is from their website, of course, where they say that between 2017 and 18 and 2019-20, police have recorded 314 incidents where 3 or more people were killed in a single attack. It is worrying that these crimes have increased, get this, by almost 50% in that period. End of quote. Guys, it's becoming a massive problem, and one which unfortunately literally affects you and I, the faith, flag, family, and freedom type South Africans. These criminals do not care about human lives. Of course, we don't know what the motives are in each of these cases, but it can't be anything good, because there is a trail of dead bodies left behind. As I said, this is not the first time we've covered this issue of mass murders in this country on the show. Let me remind you of Vuka Nazo 80. Oop, there's the thumbnail over there of that brave man in a rural village, also in the Eastern Cape, who, when he decided to stand up against the spate of stock thieves in the area, those violent goons, then proceeded to murder 8 of his relatives, one of whom was his wife. That man, of course, was in hiding, and guess who? Oh, this character. Guess who appeared, of course, supposedly as the Minister of Police, but really more as the Minister of Condolences, because that's all his useless self has been lately. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about the asshat himself, Ubheki Cele. Appeared there, showed commiseration as he usually does, because he hops from place to place with a throng of media behind him in order to appear to be doing something, when in reality the bodies that are mounting up are showing us that this man and the ANC government and indeed senior police brass in this country are doing jack fiddly squat. Why? Because you and I are doing the dying. So I'll repeat what I've always said. There needs to be a wholesale removal of the political elites who currently govern the police establishment and of course the management in this of the police in this country. A wholesale removal of them, a refreshing, the proverbial refresh button like you do on the internet, and we find and source the best of the best amongst the policing structures to manage that so that we get the best outcomes possible. Let's retrain our police officers, let's resource them fully and well, and let's capacitate, of course, our detective class in order to lock these monsters behind bars. Condolences to these families in the Eastern Cape. All right, I take you to Johannesburg now, to Auckland Park, where I'm pretty sure the SABC management and officers are thinking, broke as they are, they're probably thinking, ha ha, got him. And why? And why do they think they have us? Well, the SABC are now demanding that TV license fees be paid from things like computers and laptops, wherever there is a screen. Of course, they are arguing that a license should be paid. Good luck with that, dear SABC. You know, it does even increasingly seem like the SABC are a fraternity. You know, like those US fraternities where they dance and they do those fantastic dances and weird hand signals and stuff. The SABC must also have a fraternity in there called Broke Five Broke. Yes, that's right. I'm stealing from Kanye West. Remember this?
I brought you brothers here today to start our own fraternity. Broke Five Broke. We ain't got it. Broke Five Broke. We ain't got it. No, we have no money. We are sharing jeans. If I go outside, I got the only clothing on.
Yes, that's right. Broke Five Broke, SABC ain't got it. But let me get serious. But SABC, as I said, are looking to extort you for more money because their TV license revenue is literally drying up. Think about it. When last did you pay your TV license? No one is paying that nonsense. No one is paying for something, firstly, that is substandard, and secondly, which most likely they don't watch or receive. A lot of you watch DSTV, or most of us, especially the younger generation, consume our content through our phones. Speaking about that, you remember, of course, the SABC had also tried to levy a TV license off of your mobile device. Let me read this independent piece, which wrote this up quite nicely, actually. Now, the notices that they're speaking about here is for this new proposal to charge you a TV license for computer screens, where the notices come out a few years after the SABC put on the table and then scrapped the idea of charging TV license fees for any device that could connect to the internet, including smartphones. Oh, good luck with that. This year's notice stated that the definition of a TV set includes a TV monitor without receiving capabilities, able to receive a broadcast signal by virtue of being connected to any television receiving equipment. The broadcaster specified that the receiving equipment could include a digital box decoder, see, they're trying to catch you, this DSTV folk, and a DVD player or a PC. End of quote. As we say in Zulu, dear SABC, uyasidakelwa. Yep, uyasidakelwa. That is exactly what you're doing. You're drunk if you think that people are going to pay you for a substandard service to maintain your bloated and bulky infrastructure that effectively is stuck in the past. Good luck to you, SABC, collecting anything from us. Broke Five Broke, SABC ain't got it. All right, in our final story for the day, we give you feedback. They've hit back. That's the Department of Tourism, of course, SA Tourism, You remember we covered the story last week of SA Tourism looking to spend R1 billion of your money, nearly 990 million rand of your money, in sponsoring a UK soccer team, namely Tottenham Hotspurs, because they argued, it'll be great advertising for the country, they said. We'll have our name on their kits, we'll be on their billboards as they play soccer, yada, yada, yada. Fish paste, patata, patata. Absolutely weak nonsense that the South African government, and I argued this last week, is the kind of thing political elites do, because for them, life in South Africa is not hard. They don't have money issues. But why? Because they're taking that money from us, the productive, faith, flag, family, and freedom type South Africans, the very South Africans who are struggling to make ends meet. They take money from us in order to give money to themselves, their rich friends, and of course fund their vanity projects, as is the case with this R1 billion splurge on Tottenham Hotspurs. This is not the first time they've done this. You'll remember, as I reminded you last week, of that 22 million rand vanity project of having a meters high South African flag that can be seen from far. Former Minister Natim Teto told us at that time, these people simply do not care about you. It is all about vanity projects and splurging at our expense as South Africans. But nonetheless, they've hit back with what can only be described as sophistry, absolute nonsense in defending this decision. Watch the acting SA Tourism CEO, Themba Khumalo, defend this nonsense and basically suggest, oh no, this is not money that was meant to do productive things, so we can effectively splurge this money on a soccer team. Listen to this.
So, let me look straight into camera and say this to all South Africans. The money that's invested in tourism is not the same money that's required for energy. It's not the same amount of money that is required for potholes. There are other departments that are dedicated and are given that mandate by legislation. Our legislated mandate is not about that. Our legislated mandate is about persuading international people to travel into the country and spend money in our economy. And that is what we will stick to. Whether it is through this initiative or any other initiative, but that is what we are mandated to do, that is what we're paid to do, and that is what we will continue to do until we're told otherwise.
What he is saying to you is absolute nonsense. It's what we call sophistry, where you take something which is completely random and useless and basically suggest that it is a defense or a cover for what you're doing wrong. It is not the actual point, is what sophistry is. And this is the point exactly now. People aren't angry because this money isn't within another department, it's reserved in this department. People are angry that this money, the money itself, is being wasted frivolously like this. First of all, I don't believe there should be a tourism department, but let me play the game for a moment. Let me play the status game for a moment and assume that we should have a tourism department. If you're going to spend this money, spend it on the actual tourism sector in this country, which has gone through the lockdown period, the spicy cough period, and a lot of these businesses are reeling, and spend it on actual infrastructure, tourism infrastructure, which is in most cases a dilapidated state. Think about your favorite place in this country. 9 times out of 10, it's probably not looking as pristine as it should be. And I'm pretty sure R1 billion would go a long way to fixing that infrastructure up. R1 billion would go a long way in supporting actual South African tourist businesses who, when the tourists do come here, as they do, this country should look as sharp and as spick as span as it should be. All right, that's it from this episode of Vuka Nazo. Do you like how we start your news day? Well, then visit our friends over at Daily Friend. They come to you live Mondays to Thursday at 1:30 p.m. That's dailyfriend.co.za. Now, on your way out, please hit that like button, whether you're watching the simulcast on Facebook or on YouTube. And if it is YouTube in particular, please, please, please subscribe to the show. Help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Find us, of course, too, on our website, which will become incredibly important in this year as we begin to hit the road again. Lots of information will be on that website as to where we'll be, etc., etc., and of course, financially, how you can support our work with a payment method that suits you on the website. With that being said, see you tomorrow for another episode of Vuka Nazo.